You are breaking free from demons, shattering all chains, and your true awakening begins now. This message was sent to you thousands of years ago and was meant to be received at this precise moment because you belong to an ancient lineage. Now, we begin your true awakening. First, type 77 and activate your energy. Imagine a mighty oak tree growing among bindings. This tree has rooted itself deep in rich soil, surrounded by challenging winds, growing brambles, and tightly wrapped vines. While its branches dream of reaching the sky, the vines silently coil around its trunk, restricting its freedom and hindering its rise. From the outside, it appears strong and majestic, yet it cannot reach its full potential because of the insidious bindings that limit it. Chosen one, your mind can be similarly restrained. The enemy is not just out there, in the visible obstacles you encounter. They exist as mental restrictions that, like inner vines, prevent you from steering your future. These boundaries are the cultural norms inherited from your ancestors, values passed down, like an enduring legacy across generations. Just as the vines wrap around the oak's branches, reaching for the sky, these norms quietly surround you. They shape your thought patterns, habits, and the rules that dictate what is possible in life. But here's the good news. Just as a profound awakening is possible for that oak tree, a new era of power and freedom is opening for you. Are you ready to break free from the chains that have limited you for so long? Yes, right now, you can begin unraveling your mental vines. These constraints, which have had a silent impact for years, may seem immovable, but the power to question and liberate yourself lies within. Listen to this call that speaks to your soul. God placed you on this earth, not just to survive, but to create a blessed legacy. Whatever holds you back, restrains you, or narrows your mind cannot prevent you from finding your greatness. This is your rebirth, your moment to seize your destiny. Break those bonds today, for a divine invitation to be free has been extended to you. Living a blessed life begins with breaking entrenched perceptions. Imagine a farmer planting wheat in his field, unaware of the stones lying beneath the soil. Over the years, those stones hinder the full growth of the seeds, limit the harvest, and prevent the land from realizing its full potential. The soil may look healthy on the surface, but those hidden stones constantly restrict growth, abundance, and productivity. Mental patterns work the same way. They are invisible, but create profound barriers with every step you take, every choice you make, and every dream you pursue. These patterns may seem like a natural part of life, harmless and ordinary. But beware, my dear friend. They may be casting shadows over the great opportunities God has bestowed upon you. They can be obstacles born from daily repetitions, unquestioned habits, and assumptions you accept simply because it's always been done this way. Passed down from generation to generation, these invisible stones become shackles that limit divine potential. What were once freely chosen paths now stand as restrictive boundaries. But here's a powerful reminder. The faith God has given you is not a passive waiting, but an active and transformative force. Just as it takes effort to remove stones from the field, breaking deep-rooted patterns requires immense courage and steadfast trust in God's grace. To win our internal battles, we must find this courage. We can lift those stones one by one, overcoming what limits us and clarifies our way forward. Chosen one, never forget, in every aspect of your life, God's power is with you for growth and renewal. Those mental barriers that seem massive can be as deceptive as soil that appears healthy on the surface but hides stones beneath. But you were created to overcome these unseen obstacles. God has given you the strength to lift that stone. He has equipped you with the courage to shatter all chains and unveil your potential. Will you conquer the deeply rooted fears? Do you feel the call to transform your thoughts and rewrite your spiritual legacy? This can only be achieved through inner resolve and unwavering faith, not merely external support. Worries may be the chains of your past holding you back, yet God has given you mighty courage to break those chains. Remember, your faith can transcend any limit. You are called to write a new legacy and build a blessed future for yourself and your lineage. In the light of God, no obstacle can hold you back. For 13 days, the silence that surrounded them carried the weight of past burdens and the tension of unfulfilled promises. On the seventh day, this silence was shattered by a cry like a storm's eruption, and the obstacles that blocked their path crumbled. It was not just a battle won, but the breaking of a deep curse that had bound their lineage, the end of displacement, and the moment to reclaim the future they deserved. The foundation of reclaiming your legacy is unwavering trust and deep faith. When you connect to inner guidance, you ignite a powerful flame that breaks the chains around you. This trust goes beyond a simple decision. It is a movement that pushes human limits and requires resilience. As you commit to this path, you will notice how all the unseen obstacles you sense within begin to dissolve. The depth of your faith shatters the chains, leaving a legacy of new freedom for those who come after you. Every intention, every step, and every thought forms a spiritual memory within, a reflex that determines how your heart responds to the divine call. This inner memory shapes how you react to guidance. Responding immediately to the call is not just a choice, but a habit formed through repetition, an exercise that sharpens your will and erases hesitation. Just as muscles memorize movements through practice, so can your soul give a clear and definite response over time. This obedience is not mere acceptance, but a strength that overcomes temptations and indecision with determination. Every step you take does not just open your path, but builds a firm and secure foundation for those who come after you. Every act of alignment and determination creates a solid base that supports not only your growth, but also the growth of everyone connected to you. Your spiritual commitment and resolve lay roots that will protect future generations from enduring constant struggles, freeing them from barriers already overcome. The discipline you embrace leaves them with an internal guide, inherited as a powerful instinct, free from fear and indecision. This spirituality you develop becomes both a shield against enemy intrusions and a defined boundary of protection in every choice that shapes your life. Your swift and decisive actions, each right move made in time, form a powerful layer of security for the future. This obedience is not just a simple duty, but a gift built with strength for your lineage. It ensures that future generations are equipped with courage from the start, free to move forward and prepared to serve a greater purpose. Desperation leaves a profound imprint on the unseen world, a vibration that carries raw and pure energy beyond human limits into the spiritual realm. In the chaos of life, where faith touches with intense passion, there is a unique path of access to divine power. This desperation opens ancient gateways, revealing areas from the past echoing with energy that has been waiting, places once illuminated by holiness or darkened by invitations to shadows. These gates come alive with the vibration of their origin, holding both light and darkness within, waiting to be claimed. When comfort dulls the sharpness of this helplessness, spiritual strength weakens and cracks from carelessness appear, open to dark leaks. Comfort, like a dense fog, shrouds the alertness of the heart and closes the eyes, creating a lethargy that does not recognize the approach of the enemy. But you are called to leave this complacency behind and awaken a powerful hunger that triggers an inner alarm. This burning desire aligns you with an ancient spiritual order, a discipline that leads to a power inaccessible to ordinary understanding. That desperation flows like a divine river, echoing through the depths of generations, healing hidden wounds and becoming a gateway that reveals what has been covered over, what has not come to light. The signs of your calling are woven into every detail of your life, manifesting as recurring inner visions, insurmountable obstacles, and extraordinary struggles. These are never coincidental. They are proof of the chosen identity you carry, marking you as a powerful guide, destined to bring deliverance to your lineage. Embrace this authority within you. Take hold of the power entrusted to you, and understand that deep-rooted bonds cannot imprison you. Accept this mission bestowed upon you. Break the ties, overcome the obstacles haunting your legacy, and use your spiritual authority to protect and heal those who come after you. This journey is not just for your own good. It is part of a profound mission, calling you to be the guardian of your lineage and the defender of the future. Take on this role with pride, stretching beyond what is visible, rooting yourself firmly beyond time. You walk on lands that bear the traces of your ancestors. Each step touches a legacy shaped by an unseen past. The silent histories of these lands are not impartial. They are infused with the echoes of ancient decisions, the effects of hidden covenants, and the forgotten sacrifices that still shape the future around you. You are called not as a mere observer, but as a guardian with the power to create change. In this passage between worlds, you are equipped with heavenly authority, eyes opened to what others cannot see, and the responsibility to transform your inheritance. Understanding the spiritual past of a place is not a simple discovery, it is a critical awareness. Knowing the energy of the grounds you dwell on allows you to recognize unseen chains and repeating cycles. This understanding is essential to establishing your control over them. Declare your authority. Stand against the remnants of the past with the power ascribed to you. Where there is oppression and restriction, you have the power to bring freedom. It is within your reach to raise structures of divine light in the shadow of dark memories. Your resistance, through conscious prayer and inner discipline, empowers you with spiritual strength against any force seeking to weaken you. The spiritual leadership entrusted to you within your family carries unique responsibility and power. This position enables you to sever the bonds that cast shadows over your lineage and dismantle ancient obstacles. Prayer is your most potent weapon, and fasting serves as your protective shield. With these tools, you can shake every foundation the enemy attempts to build and delve into spiritual ties to reclaim what was lost. Your mission goes beyond protection. It is also about transforming the future and ensuring that generations walk a path free from the darkness's influence. Imagine the path we walk in this life, like thick ropes entwined around the roots of a grand, majestic family tree. Every knot represents an agreement, a vow, a promise once made by our ancestors. Many of us live without feeling the weight of these bonds, but their impact cannot be overlooked. These ties are not merely symbols, but chains that hold us to ancient debts and ancestral promises. But listen, today I have a divine message for you. You are not condemned to those chains. Their influence over you does not have to last forever. Remember the sacred power within your soul, because the authority given to you is the power to untangle these invisible bonds and lift the limitations placed on you by the past. You have the ability to tear down the lifeless altars that have long lost their purpose and build a new foundation. Old agreements and ancestral curses are not broken by physical force, but through faith. This is a holy act that shatters every chain and lifts every curse. Let me tell you, it is time to open your heart to divine guidance. Right now, step out of the chaos of ordinary life. This isn't just a phrase, but a powerful truth to live by. That divine guidance doesn't come as a whisper. It comes with inner clarity and strength. The ability to discern is more than simple awareness. It is a sharp weapon that separates truth from falsehood and sees the roots. It is a weapon sharpened by inner discipline, and this weapon has been given to you. The divine voice is not a distant echo, but is revealed right here in the depths of your heart. It guides you with discipline and devotion. It comes in moments when you embrace the silence within and illuminates outdated subconscious patterns. This voice is not complicated. It is simple yet powerful, like a light that explains why we must release the burdens we felt compelled to carry until now. Chosen ones, stand where you feel bound by those old roots and recognize the power God has given you. Cutting those ties, surrendering your burdens to God, and moving forward with a renewed spirit is your choice. Those bonds are no longer your destiny. Do not be crushed under the weight of heavy chains, for the doors of freedom and renewal have opened for you. Go beyond the moment of simple awareness. Recognize the power within you, because God is calling you to be free. He has given you this authority. Rebuild with sanctity, take steps in faith, and break every curse that stands in your way. As your spiritual sensitivity deepens, the signs and symbols around you transcend the ordinary, revealing meaningful messages meant specifically for you. God's voice comes sometimes in stillness, sometimes in an inner storm, guiding you through dreams and intuitions. As you strengthen the receptive sensitivity of your soul, you gain insights into the origins of curses that have persisted through generations. You begin to see the cycles, repeating struggles that echo calls for freedom. With each moment of inspiration, with every divine direction, you gain the power to cut the bonds that have imprisoned your lineage and to rewrite your family's history. Your awareness allows you to recognize the invisible forces at work around you and notice the finer details by opening your eyes. With this heightened level of consciousness, you detect hidden threats before they approach and reveal patterns suppressed and waiting to emerge for freedom. Every step taken under divine guidance weakens the chains of generational bondage, replacing them with blessings and establishing a pure foundation untouched by darkness. This effort is the most valuable legacy you will leave behind, a future filled with clarity and freedom. By becoming spiritually sensitive and honing your ability to listen, you arm yourself with intuition like a shield, clearing remnants of the past and opening new paths filled with light. When you make mistakes, it may feel like the echo of past errors follows you like a shadow. But remember, failure is not part of your identity. It is only a brief obstacle, a temporary detour. Even if you feel the weight of missed opportunities and the regret of wrong choices that delayed your progress, divine mercy is stronger. That power is like a wave of healing, erasing all defeats and silencing the guilt and shame lodged in your heart. When you surrender to divine mercy, you remember that even when you make mistakes, your worth is unchanged. On the contrary, challenges make you stronger and more determined, providing a foundation for moving forward. Shame wants to settle over you like a dark burden, trapping you in your failures and making you feel that victory does not belong to you. But know that your past mistakes are not chains that limit you. They are opportunities that elevate your inner strength and lay the groundwork for your rebirth. Mercy allows you to see your errors not as curses, but as steps on the path of transformation. By detaching from your mistakes, you allow grace to flow. This grace becomes a cleansing river that washes away not only your soul, but also the ancestral pains within your lineage. The brokenness of your heart holds unique power in spiritual battles. It is a deep opening that calls forth God's healing and allows divine grace to mend generational wounds. This sorrow or regret is not a weakness. It is where sacred strength emerges. When you display your vulnerability, surrendering your pride and pain, you connect to an unbearable source of power. In that pure moment of surrender, God steps in with a mighty touch, healing the wounds of the past and lifting long-buried burdens. Vulnerability is an unexpected weapon. Laying down your defenses and false confidence invites divine intervention into the wounds of the past and the bonds inherited across generations. This openness allows God's light to penetrate hidden darkness, dissolve old agreements, and destroy the strongholds of evil. A heart offered in humility does more than draw near to divine power. It also gains immense spiritual authority. This surrender does not mean giving up in desperation. It means connecting to a force greater than any bond over your lineage and gaining strength for profound transformation. Just like a shattered piece of pottery thrown into a kiln, our lives can sometimes be broken into fragments. But when those broken pieces are placed in God's hands, they are not just repaired, but adorned with gold, elevated to a higher state. God uses every break to make you a masterpiece. Think about this. In the moment of surrender, when you become soft clay in God's hands, He reshapes you for His glory. Your fractures become a legacy of healing for future generations. Pain may seem like a curse, but with God's power, it transforms into a temple of grace. Surrender is not merely a sign of weakness. It is the moment when a seed falls into the soil and springs forth anew. For God sows your hearts with blessings. Old wounds are erased by God's mercy. The burdens of your ancestors begin to transform into blessings starting with you. Your family's story becomes not one of downfall, but a glorious tale of resistance and redemption. Every bond that cracks is remade for a blessing, and you are never alone. God is with you, taking the past and shaping it into a future. This is the moment when humility merges with your strength, sealed with the grace of God. Yet, be mindful of the old anger buried deep in your heart. It resembles a spark you have secretly kept, growing over time. Like embers ready to ignite, suppressed anger can erupt in flames within your soul when the moment strikes. Do not take this lightly. Unresolved resentment toward God, if left unaddressed, can create pathways for the enemy. Suppressed pain may overflow like a river breaking its chains, becoming deep wounds that target your family. That is why you must bring past hurts into God's light. Build a holy temple where old bonds are broken and blessings take deep root. Do not allow the pain that has lingered for generations to reside in your spirit. God is here to shatter the chains of unhealed wounds and set you free. Remember, grace is not just for you. It is for your family, your children, and their descendants. Even your pain can become part of God's divine plan. For in his hands, the worst past can be transformed into a miracle. Yet, there is another option. Instead of imprisoning your anger, release and transform it. When you direct your emotions toward God, you close every door where the enemy might seek refuge. Facing your anger is not an act of defiance, but an expression of trust. By doing so honestly, you offer your pain and questions to the one who understands them best. Surrendering your anger to God destroys the structures that might have been built upon it. Letting go of your grievances prevents these feelings from becoming a poison passed to future generations, and instead leaves a foundation filled with renewal and resilience. When you initiate an inner dialogue with God, your heart opens to his healing touch, and the wounds of the past undergo a profound transformation, replacing generational pain with strength. Anger, when surrendered, becomes a tool that paves the way for divine intervention. God lifts deep hurts and sows seeds of blessing. This surrender is not passive acceptance, but a declaration of allegiance to divine truth against the lies of darkness. You are a transformer, tasked with rewriting the story of a lineage. Every step you take, every whispered prayer, every profound surrender builds an infrastructure of freedom for future generations to follow. Breaking the chains inherited from the past and erasing the shadows that bound your family is not merely a personal battle. It is the construction of a new legacy, a proclamation of victory where darkness cannot reach. The mission you have been given calls for action. You are called to boldly move forward, to expose the truth, and to transform every generational curse into divine blessings. When you claim your family's freedom, you stand not only for yourself, but as a protector and guide for those who will inherit this assurance in the future. Just as a mighty river flows past rocks and barriers to nourish a wide valley, filling it with life, your courageous decisions can breathe new vitality into your lineage. Every step you take is a victory defying the pains of the past. When you hear God's call and say yes to him with deep surrender, it transforms your family's legacy into a heritage of sacred healing. Now is not the time to hold back. Your story is a testament to God's power. God has shaped you not only for your own sake, but to be a beacon of hope for others. Think of what the Bible says. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of self-discipline. 2 Timothy 1:7. This divine power given to you is not only for changing things within yourself, but also for shaping the future of your lineage. When you surrender every broken piece and tear to God, he covers them with victory. That is why you must step forward boldly. Share what you have experienced and learned. As Jesus said in the Sermon on the Mount, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Matthew 5:16. Share your past struggles and the divine inspiration you received. Tell how God gave you strength in the midst of difficulties and how his grace led you to triumph. By doing so, you will inspire others. Make your voice heard. Your story has the power to break chains for others, leading them to find freedom and healing. God calls each of us with a unique purpose. Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." This is not just about your own salvation, but a transformation that echoes for generations. The future of your family is shaped by the decisions you make and the prayers you offer. So let your lineage be woven with sanctity. When you do this, the inheritance God has promised begins with you. As Ephesians 6:10 says, Be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. With this strength, do not be afraid to tell your story. When your brokenness turns into victory, you reveal God's eternal plan. Your voice, filled with gratitude, will guide others to reclaim their own heritage and claim the freedom that is rightfully theirs. Today, raise your voice. Your call is not a whisper. It is a powerful wave that breaks chains. God has chosen you, strengthened you, and through his light, you are rebuilding your family's legacy. Clothe yourself in holiness and resilience. Every blessing given to you is meant to show others the love of God. Let your Father in heaven be honored by your glorious triumphs. Be fearless, be a light in the darkness, and serve God's magnificent plan.